Hi, Alejandra.
Hi, Ernesto. How are you?
How is Washington today?
Sunny, hot, nice.
Nice? Oh,
Yes, nice.
no. Okay, everyone is talking about this story. Excellent, amazing. I like it. Everyone is, most of them. Okay, let's give Anna a couple of minutes. Oh, no, here she is. The only one missing is Katia. Well, I guess she'll be coming. Okay, excellent understanding of the story. Congratulations. I know it wasn't, or it's not an easy story, no, because it is a French story and takes place in France, but it was really interesting. And it's the best way, students, please, that you learn new vocabulary, okay? And
Severin.
like they keep you a little away of difficult days or things like that, no? Because reading really is interesting and it's important, okay? So we're going to continue. The idea of giving this session, the reading club, was Alejandra's, no? It was her reading session. Reading,
Ernesto, sorry, I can hear it.
no, that the idea,
The idea was Alejandra's. Was good.
yes, the idea of calling this session reading club was Alejandra's. So thank you, Alejandra.
Just the name. I'm not guilty.
No, but it's interesting, and we'll keep it. We'll keep it that, and we are going to continue with this session. No, you guys are going to have the opportunity to read not books because it will take too long. Okay, but we'll choose another short stories. The next one is going to be chosen by my friend Thomas, and he's going to be here to explain to us everything about that new short story. But since we are in this one, let's continue with this one. So that was an excellent question, Anna. I think that why the murder didn't or took away these heads. And
Severing. Severing is a new word.
okay,
That is what you see. Severing the heads.
severing the heads. I guess it was because he didn't want it to be discovered. No, so he took them away and disposed them somewhere else. I don't know. He didn't do any empanadas with them because it's difficult to do empanadas with the head. No, and he didn't touch anything else because he was a psychopath. No, he was
Oh,
he wasn't. No, his purpose was just to have fun, killing people by severing. What's the word? Severing them. No,
severing the head.
okay. So that was a very excellent question. Thank you, Ana. Okay, for the second question, why don't you do it? Alejandra, ask the second question and you want?
Okay. Well, so in the story, Inspector Dutrell and Detective Constable discuss about the use of magician techniques as graphology and astronomy to solve the cases. No, they are talking that in many cases the police use this kind of non-scientific techniques to solve the crimes. And I was thinking that maybe I saw like a TV show that is like a psych that help the police to find or to solve the cases and something like that.
Mhm.
So the question is, what do you think about use some non-scientific techniques as a method in policy research or in criminal research?
Excellent question. Okay, Anna, start you.
Anna?
Don't you want to answer?
No. I'm thinking about the answer
Ah,
because Psyche, that's the name of the person that Psyche,
a psychist.
psychist.
Mhm.
I saw the same movie. I saw the same documentary about psychists that helps to find to find where was the murder, what happened, and I don't know, it really can help. And I think it would be okay if it helps, but I don't know if it really helps, because it would be very easy to find who was the killer if you go to a psychiatrist and he helps to find out. So I saw that documentary, but I don't think this is true at all.
Okay, thank you. Isn't it a Criminal Minds, something like that? The series
Something like that.
Criminal Minds?
CSI or something like that. Yeah.
Something they talk about these psychics that they help the police to find all these psychopaths and murderers and killers and rapers.
And to help to understand what happened, where was the murder, who were involved.
They discover even the
It's
way.
like a movie, but I don't know if that would be very easy, no?
Yes. Okay. Okay. So the Ijala, would you like to answer that question, Alejandra's question?
Okay, yes, sure. Well, I'm not quite sure if there is a specific technique that helped to understand the crime or something like that. But I consider that everything is made of energy. And well, I live in another type of things. So I suppose that there are some instances where additional techniques can help. I'm thinking, for example, in Colmenares' case, yes, just to think about something real. And in fact, the initial
Aspect.
conclusion about this death was he committed suicide, but his mother had a dream, and in this specific dream, she noticed that he was assassinated. Yes, it helped to initiate a new investigation. At the end, the result was exactly the same. No one was guilty, but there is a specific external situation, like a dream, and she dreamed about the real no, is the real
The real
the exactly, yes. So I suppose it can help, but it not solves the whole situation. I mean,
Okay.
this is my viewpoint.
Thank you, Ijala. What about you, Emmanuel? What do you think? A psychist can help? Emmanuel?
Yes, of course. I think that psychics can help. For example, I don't know, in Manizales, when the mountain fell about the houses, yes, was necessary, I don't know, use dogs for rescue people, but in some moment was necessary obtain help from medium, yes, and this kind of people in that moment help to found people under the earth, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think that is important.
Okay.
And this exists.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. What about you, Margarita?
Oh, well, okay. I think is a way, is a medium for fund anything. Yes, the psychist is used to it is used in many situations. For love, for murders, for money. It's more common that we know. Yes, I think that but I think that is the bad way, because can get more problems, more troubles, but in a lot of cases is very effective. For example, in Colombia, this type of psyches or ceremonies or whatever, for example, in the Meta department, Meta, or yes, in Meta is used for different things. Yes, use the psyches, the mediums for found the solutions are different troubles for people. I don't know, but I don't. I don't. I will use this way for found anything.
Okay, Margarita, thank you. Okay, Catalina, you raise your hand, please. Let's hear your opinion.
Thank you. I think there is a good tool, which is intuition, that at least I actually sometimes use, because maybe I'm kind of thinking about, oh, I have this idea, but then I have this thought and this other thought, but my intuition is telling me that I should go through this way in some situations in life. So I think it's helpful to take into account all the evidence, right? But it's also important to take into account what you feel. Not that it is more important than the evidence in these cases, but I think that is one of the things that you have to take into account. I don't know if you have seen the series of Sherlock Holmes, and I really love to see this because he doesn't have all the experience of a detective person, and he knows like the scientific ways and all the professional knowledge to detect what happens in the scene, even though if it's a murder or not. But he always goes with as well with his intuition. So I think it's kind of interesting. Not a substitute of evidence, but a tool, an extra tool.
Okay, thank you, Catalina. Very interesting. Okay, everybody has answered. Okay, so it's time for another question. So what about your question, Emmanuel? Let's hear your question, please.
Okay. More than a question is what people think about what will happen with the Bololona and Agnes. Yes, although the murder was discovered, what will happen with Bololona and Agnes? Yes, and Bololona, as you know, was pregnancy. What the history was incompletely. Yes, what will happen with them?
Okay, nice. So Ijala, what do you think? What is going to happen between Bolonona and the wife?
Well, Agnes will get divorced because Mr. Dutrell was unfaithful with her. And Bololona will so happy with his boy, because he's a boy. He will be a boy. And as my sister said that Mr. Dutrell is guilty. I'm not quite sure, but for me, the guilty is the professor. So if the professor is the guilty, Mr. Dutrell and Bololona will be so happy with his new song and will be very happy. Yes, this is my end. Okay.
Thank you.
No, I don't understand the question at all.
What happened with
Emmanuel, I didn't understand the question at all.
Repeat the question.
The question is, what happened or what would have happened if they haven't been killed?
No,
Emmanuel?
what will happen with Bololona? Yes, as you know, she was pregnancy. Yes, and Agnes,
She was
that was
Emmanuel, pregnant, no pregnancy.
pregnant.
Mhm.
Excuse me, pregnant.
It's okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
In the
But
story
as I
was
understood,
yes.
Continue, Anna.
I think it's, see, I don't know if I understood the story different, because what I understood is that the professor tried to resolve the inspector situation by killing both of them, his wife and Bolorona. That's how I understood the story.
Wow.
So he solved the problem and he killed both of them. Do you understand the difference?
I understood that there are two murders, two bodies, quite similar. I mean, he should the killer chosen one similar, a very similar bodies, but not at the same.
Ah, I understood something really different. I understood
This
that
is I
he killed
would
Bolonora
understood.
and his wife. This is a different interpretation.
Yes, yes, because with the one of the interpretations, yes, of the with the Diala, yes, the murders were very similar, but nowhere the persons involved with the inspector.
But the Inspector Dutrell says that he was, or he felt,
That
sintió,
he thought.
Felt.
yes.
Okay.
He felt that he was the intellectual murderer because he paid for the ceremony, for recovery, the Bololona's love, and then we were happy for the rest of life. But the Inspector Dutrell felt a murder, an intellectual murder. But and I think that the Agnes in the beginning of the story says that she was a strong woman. I think that she followed her way. I don't know, in the village where they live in a village for all time, and maybe Bololona. I don't too sure if Bololona have papers in France. Maybe it's a undocumented woman. Maybe he come back your country. I don't know, because Dutrell says that he was a intellectual murderer. Maybe he will be in the jail. Maybe, I don't know.
In jail. Okay. Thank you, Margarita. Okay, Alejandra, what do you think of Emmanuel?
Well, I think that at that point, the inspector will be involved in all these situations, because for me, the murderer is the professor. I believe that he works in that. So when he tried to solve the case, finally, they will be involved, and both her wife and Bololona will know that he tried to do this thing. No, kill them, no, but solve the situation. And because that both of them will leave alone the inspector. So he is still alone. He ends alone. Sorry, ends alone because his wife and also Bololona understood that he doesn't know how to manage the situation, and he asked for this kind of help or services.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting, Alejandra. Very, very.
I have a question for Alejandra. Do you think the two bodies were Bololonas and the inspector wife, or another person?
No, at the beginning that he discovered the two bodies, I believe that maybe are these girls. But then when he said that he touched one of them and without the head, he understood that she isn't Bololona. I understood that they are not the same people. So this is my interpretation. But as Emmanuel said,
Yeah.
the story is like I don't know, the second part. But it's so difficult to understand what's going on. Yeah, what happened?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's the interesting point of because
Probably
you can
this
make
is
your
the modus
own
operandi
story.
of the professor. I mean, the professor received a patient, and the patient told his or his story about his or her problems. Okay, and the professor Dutrell decided to kill the problem. I mean,
Yeah,
and
that's
for that
how I
reason,
interpret it.
he took the head away, and only the bodies, just to the problem is solved. It could be this is the modus operandi. Could be, no? I think so.
Yes, yes, it could be. Okay. Okay, does anybody else has a question or an opinion or a point of view? No? Okay.
Well, I just have one little point more, and it's interesting to check the sites or the place that is, I don't know, highlight or sign. I don't know which is the word, but the place that they put into the story, because it's interesting when you look into the Google Maps, see the area right now. No, it's another way to know new places through the stories.
Okay. The use of technology.
Yeah, and it's no, I don't know, like a reason to go and see these cities because, well, I didn't, or it's not too common to me to check this kind of cities. If not, it's a touristic plan, you know. So if I read it, it's nice to say, well, where is the boulevard at? Well, is da. So, for example, Bologna lives close to the Moulin Rouge.
Ah,
Yeah, when I look at, I search it, it's close to this place.
so
Yeah.
so do you think Bololona was a stripper?
Yes, was a
Maybe,
dancer.
She
Couple
was
dance.
in Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge.
She is a very sensual dancer, not
Yes.
properly stripper.
Yeah,
Pole dance.
yeah.
Okay, excellent. So
But she lives close to the Moulin Rouge, which is without clothes.
naked.
Not
Naked,
naked.
This
kind
place
of
in
naked.
Not naked.
La Rouge
Not at all.
Almost
money.
exactly. It's very sensual dancing, but not naked.
Belly dance.
Almost. Like a can, something like that.
All right, students, I'm glad that you like this story.
Not at all. Kind of no. We can keep talking about this story for 2 hours.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys like this story, that you guys like this first reunion. We're going to have another one, and hopefully more. Okay, we're going to read another story. But before finishing today, I want to hear from all of you your reaction, your expectation. What do you think about this session, about the reading session, the reading club? Do you guys like it? You don't like it? It's a good way to learn more English, to get more fluency in the language, to get to know all you guys, because that's important, to know people, okay? We need to know people. You know, you have known with my forums how important that is, no? So I want to see like your feedback about this session of the reading club and this session about this story. So who wants to begin? Catalina, please.
I think it was a really great idea, Alejandra. One of the things I perceived that was important for me to improve my grammar and my speech techniques was by reading. When I don't know if some of you remember, but in one of my forums, I told you about the first forum. When I got to Brazil, I barely spoke Portuguese. So I obliged myself just to hear the radio station in Portuguese and the TV shows in Portuguese. And the third step that I made was I started reading in Portuguese, even though it was really difficult because I didn't know so much about Portuguese at the time. So I remember Ernesto sent me a link of a little children's song and a little children's TV show, which I started watching, and it really helped me. But it was little children's show. So when I got the idea of starting to read, my first Portuguese book, it was a children's book so that I could start understanding better. So I think it's a really great idea that will improve your learning in everything. And it's really nice to have this time to share with all of you, because even though I live outside from Colombia, it's nice to meet other new people and to share this kind of experiences. Thank you.
Thank you, Catalina. Very nice.
Thank you, Catalina.
Okay, who is next?
Okay, I like the reading club, because we can read a complex story, because in the beginning the story I couldn't understand a lot words. My lists are longer. Well, but in the middle of the story, I can understand a lot. And this space is important for us because we can talk about the stories, about the story, about our opinions, our point of view of the story and the themes related with the story. As it's important for us. I like so much this forum, the first reading club.
Okay.
Thank you, Ernesto.
Okay, you're welcome, Margarita. Okay, Yala, your turn.
I consider it was a very good idea. It's a very good idea to improve our fluency. For all of us, are very important to speak. I consider that most of us have the structure, have the information, the vocabulary, but through reading, as you mentioned, is the way to obtain additional vocabulary. And the most important is to spend this time with you, talking with you, and talking about something in common for us. So I consider it is a very good idea. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you, Aleja, for the idea. And thank you, all of you, for your viewpoints and the opportunity and to listen to me. obviously.
Yala. Okay. Emmanuel, what about you? What's your point of view?
Yes, I can. I think that this kind of activities are very interesting because in my case, I can learn many vocabulary that I don't know. And for the reason, I think that is very important. And uh, after these debates or socialization, I think that is very important because uh, avoid to know different opinions and ideas.
Okay. Excellent, Emmanuel.
Yes.
How is it? Anna, what about you? Thank you, Emmanuel.
Who?
Anna, what about you? What is
Okay, me?
the reading club?
I think this learning club was a very good idea, and it was amazing how everybody interpreted the reading in a different way. I never thought about the ceremony with the heads. I never thought about all those ideas. So I think it was very nice. And I will have an opinion for the next reading club. I think it would be nice if each of us take 5 words that we don't understand the meaning, and we bring it to the at the end of the reading. For example, severing. Severing for me, it was a new word. And if each one brings 3 or 5 words and we understand the meaning, that would help us to improve our vocabulary. That would be nice for the next one.
Nice idea to have a vocabulary session, 10 minutes.
Yeah, at the end.
Session.
I say
Excellent.
these 5 words and that's the meaning. So I think it will help us to remember.
Excellent idea. Okay, Alejandra, what is your feedback about your idea?
No, first, I actually I want to say that my participation is just giving the name to this session. I don't have any more because it was the Ernesto idea. No, we just was talking about how to call this session, and we established that it's a reading book or reading club. But no, it's all the idea of Ernesto, and it's glad for me. It's really nice to have the opportunity to read these kind of stories because it's not common for me read this type. I like another, or I used to read another kind of text, and it's really nice to put our imagination in this situation to understand what's going on, what happened, because it's a really nice opportunity to think out of the box, as Catalina wants to say us. Because in most of the cases I just read and interpret it in a one way, but when everyone, as Anna said, came with a different way to look the text, is really grateful. It's nice, and I like it a lot. And yes, of course, I hope that we have another reading book session. It will be lovely. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, thank you, Alejandra. Okay, I'm glad that all you guys liked it. And we're going to have another one, of course. But first, we have to read the new short story. Okay? And this interaction between you guys is very important. Okay? You never know when you're going to need something or someone, no? And having context is extremely important. No, knowing that we could need something in Sao Paulo and that we know Catalina, okay? Or in Washington and we know Alejandra, okay? Or in London, we know John and Mary, okay? Or here in Bogota, or in the financial sector, we know Ijala and we know Anna, okay? No, it's excellent. That is very important, guys, okay? Connections are more important than money, okay? Because if you may have all the money in the world and you don't have connections, what will you do with that money? You see, so you need connections. And this was an excellent session for you guys to get to know each other, to interact, to talk in English, and your English improves, of course, because you've been practicing. All right, Emmanuel, you have improved very much. Okay, and I am glad that you are participating and all these. and you'll get there. I know you will. And all of you guys also. And having Catalina from Sao Paulo and her friend Katia, thank you for coming. No, that was excellent. So many, many thanks to all of you. No, it was a great session. No, and we'll continue in class and we'll continue. And please, the words that you didn't know, not only say, that I get to know many other words, get to know them and use them. Okay, use them. Have like a little glossary where you write the word that you don't know and the definition and get to know those words. Okay, so thank you very much. And I'll see you guys in class and in the next forum. Okay? Okay?
Okay, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the
Ernesto.
idea.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Bye.
all.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, Emmanuel.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Ciao.